Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. What a pleasant and joyous event it is. So, I think our minds are clear to grasp something very useful, especially in this generation or the time that we are being moved on. Because we know youths are the power of the generation, and youths are on the back of drugs. Because we know they are playing kind of crucial role in the life of coming generations, which are represented by the valuable youth. So, let me use this golden opportunity to give you a small awareness on drugs. Because unless we are aware about something that we are not, it might attempt that we might back off from the harmness and the consequences of the consumption and the uses of it. So, without wasting our time, let's get into it. All around the world, several news are being reported according to the uses and the problems with the consumption of drugs. Just as I said, people are getting interest on the very small amount of pleasure that they are getting from these kinds of drugs, without minding the consequences, what might comes after that. So, through this, I would like to explain what are drugs, what are its types, what are the physical effects caused by it, and what are the social impacts on the consumption of drugs, and how people are getting hold to these kinds of drugs. So the first one is drugs. Drugs are the chemical substances used by human beings to alternate their human feelings through the interaction to the brain, which is caused by the message of neurotransmitters directly from brain to our all human body parts, which causes a little pleasure and some hallucinogenics and some kind of activeness, which are of several types. Using all these can cause severe human background causes, which may defect even for the rest of our lives. The consumption may be a little, but the problems will be uncountable or something like that. So, let's just get into the types of the drugs that we are getting discussed about. The first one is depressants. This kind of steroids and kind of, like we said, the weed or something like that, makes the user into a sluggish or uncoordinated movements because of the slowing of the brain. The dopamine in the brain will be decreased by the levels of the consumption caused by the intoxicants substance included in it. Depressants are normally being used by the many youths who are facing love failures and several very depression to just they think that getting away from the emotional feelings will change the problems adequately. Is that the truth? No. It may be a temporary actions, but the consequences are to be discussed with a greater influence. And the second one is stimulants. which gives an activeness and awakeness to the users, which are crystal meth and steroids of several types. By using these, people get an activeness, a positive energy, and a full energetic feeling to do everything that they even can't do. This is because of the neurotransmitters send kind of a fake messages to the body parts, which makes them active. But after the withdrawal of these effects, there will be very pain that they can even think that they can tolerate. But the problems will be very problematic after the use. And the third type is hallucinogenic, which takes the users into another world of imagination, which makes them think that they are come from another world and they are another space, just like that. They might do things like psychic, which can cause humor sense to us, but they will be doing with the seriousness, but they will be seen as a comedic scene to us, because they are not a normal kind of scenes that we are used in our society. So let's get back to the problems which can be affected by using to the physical effects. We know human body is a structure of several organs formed by a special contemplations and coordinations with the proper regulations of blood flow and all. Using of the drugs can cause a high blood pressure or irregular flow, which can cause insomnia, then tidiness, fatigue, something and things like that. And the main problem is our heart. Our heart is our life. Our heart stops, we stops. So when we consume the drugs, the intoxicants contained in it will be absorbed by the lungs, which will be circulated to the heart, can cause the working of the heart a smoothlessness. Therefore, just for an example, what if a machine comes with rust and tidiness? They will be worked without properness, and the results will not be given as much as we have expected. Just like that, if our heart slows down, our programming, our working inside the body, which will be slowed, and the results coming from us will not be as same as that we are expecting. And just like that, our joints, our pancreas, our liver, our every parts of body will be affected by the using of several kinds of drugs that we have already discussed. Moreover than, we live in a pack of society. The impacts on society is an important factor to have a healthy and a good life. While using drugs, people will be in another world, just as we explained. So normally the people who use drugs are being avoided, or they are being seen avoided, because lack of the showing of their character or conjunctive manner of showing the disabilities, and the choosing of improper application will be caused as a loss of interest by the people, which will be lead to another hammering social dilemma, which can cause a psychological mental disorder to them, because people will be trying to have suicide because they are being avoided from the society, because that thinks they will be escaped from the reality, but the fact is that they are not escaped from the reality ever. So let's take a look at the disorders around the world that we are being discussed. This is a world map showing that people who are being disordered because of the consumption of the drugs around the world. Let's look at the map. We can say the blue identifies the 7% that causes the disorder disordered peoples of characters. We know people have to maintain an order of their social character to be in a healthy and a good structure of life. If it disorders are being controlled or not controlled, they will be expelled from the society, so that they will be improperized. The usages of the drugs are being most used by the youths, which are to be the representation of the generation that are coming fast. How can a good generation be formed if the youths are walking by four legs? So here comes our next topic. How do these peoples get a hold to these drugs? Several mafia business networks are being worked under every style of campuses to get a hold of these drugs. People even give free for the first times, so that they will be addictive and they will become try to use, and this time they will try to pay more and they will get the money. So it is our responsibility to say no to drugs, that we have to stop the drugs to have a healthy and a good life. So our responsibility stands as an indispensable factor to be a representative of good man that passes a good knowledge. I hope I made you aware that drugs are not good for humans. So with this, let me conclude here. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.